Goals on goals on goals, and Manchester is red, but not for the reason you think. Happy holidays from us here at A Soccer Fan Walks Into a Bar. We're in on a Monday for a special pre-Christmas and Hanukkah episode with tons to go over, so stay right here. All right, welcome into A Soccer Fan Walks Into a Bar. Diego, here we are, Christmas and Boxing Day right around the corner. How was the week for you?
It was great, man. I mean, Christmas is one of my favorite times. The ambiance, the people, the gifts. But no, everything good. Getting ready for tonight. If you
Yeah.
guys, see this today, we're having a local tradition here called Egbert. So we're gonna do an event with him for adults only. Don't bring your kids, and it should be a lot of fun though.
Yes.
So check us out later on.
Egbert, the local celebrity from a local
Nursery,
nursery. There you go,
yeah.
I couldn't think of the word. So essentially, he is a giant animatronic egg that,
Yes.
similar to Santa, the kids would sit on his lap or in front of him, and you tell him what you want for Christmas. It has been resurrected in the form of obviously Egbert for the kids, but also Angry Egbert
For the
For the
adults.
adults. So a local legend here in the Hudson Valley. And this is now probably the sixth or seventh
Yeah.
year I think we've done Angry Egbert here in the tap room. So it is a great event. One of the favorites for the locals and
Absolutely.
for the expats that come back here for the holidays.
Yeah.
They always get their fill of Egbert. So
Yeah, no, it's a
um,
great beer too. If you get the
great
chance,
beer with,
try it
and
out.
we'll be back on draft today.
Yes.
We saved a couple kegs just for tonight's event, and then in through the festive week.
Yep.
So it'll be good to celebrate all that. So let's jump right into it. We have a ton to talk about.
Yes, lots of actual soccer stuff to talk about.
We will, I guess, briefly just breeze through the EFL Cup results. We had Southampton, Liverpool here on Wednesday. Liverpool came out 2-1 victors. A little bit more interesting. Tottenham 4-3 over United. In the other, one of the other quarterfinals, the other one that we had here on TV. So as it's drawn up, the semifinals, leg one, January 7th and 8th, will be Arsenal hosting Newcastle, Tottenham hosting Liverpool, and
Yeah.
then February 5th and 6th, the return legs of those two. So
It actually brings me back to the late '90s, early 2000s,
Yeah.
when those used to be the dominant
Yeah,
teams
yeah.
in the league. It's a nice sight to see actually this year, seeing other teams in places of
for
relevance.
sure, and if you are a fan of a mid-table team with some aspirations for Europe,
Yeah.
you are hoping that Arsenal or Liverpool take this title.
Yes.
That way, everyone moves one down the pecking order in terms of the European spots.
Oh yeah, no,
So,
and we all know we in this show are one of those.
yeah. And
So,
we'll
let's
talk
hope.
about it more soon. So right over that into the Premier League action, Aston Villa hosting Man City this weekend, 7:30, bright and early with all the snow and ice. We were here, and the hits keep on coming for Man City.
Jesus.
Although based on recent form and the opponent and the fact that it was away.
No, it's a
I'm not
different match.
surprised by the result, but Aston Villa 2-1 over City. John Duran and Morgan Rogers, of whom is a former Man City
Yep.
Academy graduate.
And Duran.
And
my
and our
guy.
Colombian and MLS alum, John Duran. Again, his form has been lights out.
Yes.
Phil Foden drew one back in the 93rd minute. Didn't really mean
Yeah,
much in
no,
the grand
it's-
scheme of things. And that now drops Man City to, where are we here? Seventh
Seventh.
place on the table
Yeah,
for Christmas.
that's crazy.
That
though.
being said, there are only 4 points out of Champions League spots. For those of you that don't know, I did make a guest appearance this morning on a Premier League show, and a lot of the talk was, will Man City make it into the top four? As bad as they're playing and only 4 points back, I think they get this right, and I do think they get back into Champions League.
Yeah, you think so?
Uh,
I mean, it is
yeah.
difficult. Though.
It's
just,
gonna, but again, as bad as they're playing,
they're still not
the-
that far back.
fourth place is only 4 points ahead of them.
Yeah.
So, if they go on even close to a run where
Yes.
like that they usually do, I think they surpass Villa and to our chagrin, Bournemouth and Forest.
Yeah. And you know
I
what, to
think
be
they
honest
make it.
with you, like you said, this is a team that knows how to win at the
Right,
end of the
right.
day. And this is just the first half of the season. We haven't even gotten to the
Yeah.
midpoint. We're
We're
two
not even
games.
we're not even to
Yeah.
the half point.
We're 2 games away from the
We
halfway
played
point, so there is
17 of
plenty
38.
games.
So yeah, it's plenty of time. The bar right now is very low for Man City's ability. I do think they'll, even like I said,
It's a-
even if they get it
yeah.
quasi right again and just start grabbing points here and there. The top half of the league has been so up and down this year.
Yes, exactly. That's what
that
I was
they,
going to
they
say.
do have some room for error there, you would think.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody has run away with the scores. Like every team has it's been split in matchups. You know what I mean? Nobody's dominating
Yeah.
right now, and that is helping them a lot. But they better wake up soon enough because once Liverpool or Arsenal or they actually wake up and starts winning, it becomes a lot more difficult.
Speaking of Liverpool, we had a 9-goal thriller in our Sunday
It was
Sunday late
insanity.
morning game.
Yeah.
Tottenham Hotspur 3, Liverpool 6 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 2 goals from Lucho, 2 goals
My
and 2
guy,
assists
yeah.
from Mo Salah. He became the first player, I believe, in league history
Yeah.
to record 10 goals and 10 assists before Christmas.
Oh,
So nice little stat there.
Yeah, no, that's
Dom
a-
Solanke for Tottenham got on the score sheet as well in the 83rd. I believe that puts him to 10 goals in all competitions for Tottenham. And it was not a good look for Ange Postecoglou in
No.
the post-match presser.
yeah.
They now sit 11th place on 23 points, which is good for 8 points, out of Champions League spots.
All right.
They've won 7 of their 17 matches. That is not a good number to be at.
No.
That
I
being
mean-
said, they have a positive goal differential of 14. They have the 4th best goal differential in the league. But this is what they're capable of, is just hemorrhaging goals from all angles.
Yeah.
And honestly, the 6 goals was a bit flattering to Tottenham.
That
it could've been
game
more.
was a landslide.
Yeah.
It was just ridiculous. They were just, I don't know. I guess they were just, they gave up.
Yeah.
It feels like they gave up on that game at some point. Yes, the 3 goals they scored were there, but they were
it's
absolutely
funny.
irrelevant,
They
pretty
looked
much.
totally out of it
Yeah.
after 2-0.
Yep.
James Madison got his goal just before halftime.
Yeah.
You thought,
Yeah.
okay, here we are.
They're trying to come
Coming
back.
back.
They're trying to do something.
We have
yeah.
something here. If they can build on this, get into halftime, make some adjustments. And then Szoboszlai scores in stoppage time of the first half to just close
Take
the
the
door.
wins, yeah.
And then 2 goals from Mo Salah early in the second half, and it was
over.
done.
Yeah.
Even the 2 goals that Tottenham brought it back to 5-3, it never felt like
It
was
wasn't
coming.
close.
So.
Yeah, no, it was not close. And Tottenham is having a problem because now let's not even talk about the whole European Cup situation. Let's talk about relegation right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're safe from that. They are 11 points clear of the relegation zone.
Yeah, but
but no,
like
I
we
mean,
said,
it's-
there is still 19, 21
Yeah.
games left. If you don't start, shaping up, these
Yeah.
other teams might start climbing on
No,
you.
I don't. I see where you're coming from, but any team that is capable of scoring, they actually lead the league in goals. They're on 39 goals. That's
Mm-hmm.
usually what does in these lower teams in the
The
in
goal
the table.
differential,
They
you're
just
right.
can't score goals. So if you look at it, Ipswich on 16 goals and Southampton only 11 goals
Mm.
in their 17 matches. That's what gets you relegated.
Yeah, that is true. Goal
you
differential.
can give up as many goals as you want, but if you're able to score at will, as they have, they're averaging over 2 goals a match.
Yes.
They're going to be safe.
But that's what kills me with Tottenham. The games they lose very close.
Yeah.
Yes, but in the games they win, they score a ton of
Yeah,
goals and
yeah.
they destroy the other team. But that's just not consistent.
No, but at
That's
least
just
it's
not.
entertaining for the fans. Right?
Amen to that. And I do love Song though.
And on that bridge of entertaining for the fans,
Yeah.
yesterday morning I was here with a bunch of our Bournemouth faithful to relive last year's great result at Old
Yeah.
Trafford. Nil.
Nil.
AFC Bournemouth
3,
3.
baby.
So
Three.
a first half header from Dean Howson in the 29th minute, a Justin Kluivert penalty,
Again.
followed up by Antoine Semenyo in the 63rd, really shutting the door, and it was a brilliant result. Top to bottom, Tyler Adams had a great 90 minutes and
Always,
absolutely
he's-
destroyed the
yeah.
midfield for United. Howson, Zabarny, Milos Kerkez, Dango played
Yeah.
a great match. Semenyo actually was really quiet, and then in with the goal, and that's
Tyler was dominated and credit to Tyler this time
Yeah.
around. I don't want to, glaze, as the kids say nowadays, the player, but he is on fire right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
He doesn't need to score right now. He needs just to be a presence in the match, and that's what he's
he is.
doing.
And like we
It's
said,
incredible.
It has come at a great time.
Yep.
Bournemouth currently sit 5th place in the Europa League spot
That
right
is
now.
incredible.
It's to think that even last year when they were on that run, to think that they would be up here at Christmas time is really just a great place to be
Amazing.
as a Bournemouth fan. And the surprising part is that it's not that surprising to Bournemouth
Exactly.
fans.
No, they saw the development, and I mean, we did too. We talked about it a lot,
Mm-hmm.
last season, and yeah, there were rough patches, but they were seeming to come together. They started to come together. The coach finally, started getting, his own relevance and
Right,
respect
right.
amongst the players. And, all these young players are developing now. So
For
now
sure.
they're ready. They're fitting in. They know their places. They know how to play together.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
you got. I talked about it this morning on the Premier League show that I was with. Obviously, Iraola played his last couple of years in NYCFC.
Mm-hmm.
I got to watch him fairly extensively. Physically he did not have it anymore,
No,
but
yeah. But mentally he
that
was
mind, that soccer mind that he has is just incredible.
Yep.
He did it at Rayo Vallecano, a lower level mid-table team in Spain. He's doing it here at Bournemouth, and he has gotten every player that I can think of improved under
Yes.
him. The one exception, although he's been playing quite well the last couple of matches in limited minutes, is maybe Philip Billing. But he really has everyone just humming on all
Yeah.
cylinders here. Kepa had an incredible game. There was 1 point late in the first half when it was only 1-0 that it looked like United was
Coming
going to
back,
score
yeah.
and put one through. And we were all just praying up here that let's just get to halftime, let Iraola make those adjustments.
And he
And
did,
he
and
did.
boom. No, absolutely, absolutely. And that is the thing with him. I mean, he knows. That's one thing with coaches that know how to develop a team because they were in those situations when
Right,
they were playing. He was
exactly.
never, he did play for some big teams. For the most part, and towards the end of his career, he always played in those mid-tier teams,
Right.
even right before he came to America. So he knows the struggle. He knows what that group of players need, and he's applying it nowadays. And it's amazing.
It's been a revelation. The hopes are obviously with the January window coming up here,
Get something
that,
out.
or that at the very least we keep everyone.
Oh, well, true.
I'm hearing obviously I think Iraola is here to stay at least short to medium term.
Yep.
There's rumors about Zabarny maybe going to PSG.
Oh.
Milos Kerkez over to Liverpool is in the cards possibly. So we'll see what the movement looks like, and if we're able to maybe get some reinforcements as well. You never know how.
Well, I mean,
that'll
that's
work,
the
but-
that's the thing. If you're selling for a good price, you might be able to get a different trade or a different player. That's
Yeah,
gonna-
and Milos has been playing incredible the last few weeks.
Yes.
That being said, if someone rolls up the armored truck full of cash,
they will have to
with,
take
with
it.
the
though.
January window kind of premium that clubs pay in the middle of the season. I think
It's a
they'll-
business,
I think
like
they'll
we
be-
always say.
I think they will be hard pressed to say no to
Yeah.
letting him go.
Yeah, I mean, the ideal situation was that the player himself sees the opportunity of building up a name
Yeah.
for themselves at a team by developing it. But, nobody really thinks about that. It's all about the X's and O's and the cash. So we'll see what happens. Like you said,
We will,
hopefully
we
we'll
will.
keep him, but I see it hard though. I
Yeah,
see it hard
for
to
sure.
do.
And again, it's just a matter of their recruitment, which, we've seen it with Evan Nielsen.
Yeah.
We've finally gotten it right, and look at him go.
Yeah, he's
But
killing it.
at this point in the last 2 years, with the decisions that Bill Foley and Iriola have made, and their scouting departments and everything else,
Absolutely.
as far as I'm concerned, they can do no wrong.
No, they haven't done any wrong.
Right?
So yeah,
so
why
why not trust the method and keep going with what they're doing?
Very true.
If they feel that Kirkez or Zabarny are expendable at this point, or based
Yeah.
on the number
Or-
that's offered, it's a
or not
good
necessarily
move for them.
expendable, necessary for the development of
But,
the future. Yeah.
It'll be very interesting to see. I'm sure it'll be disappointing if either of them go. Disappointing to the Bournemouth fan base,
Yeah.
and the rest of the club, who is potentially fighting for a European spot here.
Yeah.
But again, you got to think big picture.
Yeah.
As excited as we all are here, you got to think big
Hey,
picture
listen,
for the club.
In a little bit of a selfish way, I hope one of them go because that will give Sinisterra a little bit of an opportunity
Yeah.
when he gets back. So I'm not saying that there are not players waiting to come up or
Right.
to come back in that have the ability to replace the player.
Yes, you got
but
Sinisterra, you got Scott coming back from
Yes.
injury, you got Marco Sinisi, the Argentinian center back, coming back from
And
injury.
he's really good, yeah.
So there are parts that are there that we've kind of forgotten about. You got Julian Araujo, the Mexican international,
Araujo,
as an outside
absolutely.
back. So it's not like a sale would be a total net negative.
No, absolutely
But
not.
there are starters on the squad for a reason right now. So
Exactly.
you do have to consider that.
Yeah, and this team is about chemistry. It's all about chemistry right now. And
They are flying high. Again, the European competitions are a real possibility now at this point.
Yes.
We've all been saying it, even towards the tail end of last year. You need these X, Y, and Z results, and then you need also help from
These
3 or
many
4
people,
other
yeah,
teams.
yeah.
We control it right now.
Yeah.
I was just looking earlier today on the show. The fixture list for the rest of the year is very winnable.
It's not impossible. Yeah, absolutely.
You have Crystal Palace, who currently sits in 16th place. You have Everton, who currently sits in 15th place, and then at Fulham in 9th place. So that should be another 7 points there out of those 3 matches.
At least, yeah. Hopefully.
And then January does get a little bit dicey. You have Chelsea, you have Newcastle, you have Nottingham Forest, who's currently in 4th. You have
Yeah.
Liverpool in February 1st. So that'll be a tough stretch, which is another reason why we need to kind of stockpile these points
Absolutely.
in December.
And I mean, let's talk about that. Like the first 5 teams. Well, no, I mean 3 out of the 5 are teams that haven't been in the top in forever.
Right,
though it's
right.
a great resurgence from Chelsea. I mean, Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
It hasn't
So let's see.
been-
Chelsea, Forest, and Bournemouth last year were 6th for Chelsea, 12th for Bournemouth, and 17th just out of
Nottingham
relegation
Forest,
for
yeah.
Forest. So
Exactly.
will all 3 keep it up? We'll see. We'll see what happens.
No, but it's a beautiful thing to
it
see
is,
right
it
now,
is.
though.
It's great for the neutral fan.
Yeah.
Not so good for fans in Manchester, on either side of Manchester.
Yeah, poor Manchester City. The city of Manchester is
Yeah.
having a hard time right now with their soccer, and especially them. They're
Yeah,
crazy fans right now.
They've been spoiled for so long. They can deal with a little bit of adversity here. But on that note, we will take a quick break. We'll be
Yeah.
right back. We do have some MLS news with
Yes.
100 miles to home, and then we have a chock full schedule for next week. All right?
Yes.
So stick around, guys.
See you guys soon.
All right, welcome back to A Soccer Fan Walks Into a Bar. We do have some MLS news, in addition to maybe a post-holiday one-off episode that we're going to cover, some of the MLS draft, the expansion draft,
Yeah.
some other off-season news and signings, things of that nature. For the NYCFC faithful, a little bit of twisting the knife here. Former manager who guided NYCFC to the MLS Cup final and win it. Ronnie Deila has been announced as the manager for Atlanta United, and he's a guy that brings out the best in players. He's a guy that is familiar with MLS, with the rules and everything that goes along with that, as well as under one of the best leadership groups in the U.S. and in North America, really, under Arthur Blank and Garth Lagerwey as president.
True.
So they had a very big struggle last year. We talked about it. They fired their manager for the first. They were the first team to fire their manager, rather. In the MLS season. Rob Valentino did incredibly well to bring them back into the playoffs. They beat Miami. So it was a good tail into the season, which I think kind of papered over some of the cracks, and it'll be very interesting to see what Ronnie Deila can do with this club come next season.
Yeah, I imagine it's going to be a rebuilding. Not a rebuilding process, but like a change of mentality type deal. I hope he just continues or talks to whoever was the interim at the end of the season, because that person did a great
Garth
job.
Garth Lagerwey is an incredible front office guy with a proven track record in the MLS, both out west and now in Atlanta. He certainly will have his finger on the pulse of Atlanta
absolutely.
United, and I think they will be back to their their spot on the pedestal here as one of the top teams in the East. Also, for those of you that don't know, the MLS schedule did come out. The Red Bulls, I believe, open at Cincinnati, and NYCFC opens at Inter Miami.
Okay.
Last
you did
week of
show me
February.
that.
I might try to get down there for it. We're not even into January yet, and I'm already tired of the cold.
Yes.
It is. Let's look. It is currently 12 degrees here in Newburgh, and I'm sick of it.
It's winter.
It's
winter, and it
but it doesn't
stinks,
have to be.
man. It stinks
I can
so
go
bad.
elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, go down south and
I
enjoy
might.
yourself over there for a couple of weeks.
Miami is sounding incredible right now.
Oh, dreamy, man, dreamy. When I start seeing my breath, I start thinking about heading south, man, like a bird. But nonetheless, I mean, having a proven, going back to Deila, having a proven champion as a coach, especially when it's coming in and you had a good end of your season, maybe build up your players to fall in line and buy into whatever he's trying to sell them at the beginning. So let's see what happens with Atlanta. I mean, they were up and down last year. So as long as he can steady up the ship,
right,
and he can get them to a consistent level to begin with, the process will work itself out.
I think you nailed it there. All right, so moving on to what's on tap. Our match day watch parties here in the tap room. We have first of all, Boxing Day is chock full. We have a quadruple header starting bright and early, 7:30 a.m. Man City hosting Everton. That two teams that are struggling for different reasons, obviously. It will be interesting to see what Man City brings to the table.
Yes, that's what we need.
They are. I believe they've now one win in their last 12.
Yes.
It's
a bunch of ties and several losses.
I mean, in every match, okay, this is the one that they turn it around, and it's not coming. So, fighting on multiple fronts, fighting in multiple competitions, the festive season.
And that's the thing, nothing is working out in any competition.
They've been decimated with injuries, so I don't know if they have what it takes to turn the ship here on a Boxing Day match.
It's a long, lengthy process. I want to say at least 10 matches before we see any kind of change, if there is going to be any change. And that's going to be super difficult.
I don't know. Shortly after that, 10 a.m., we will have AFC Bournemouth hosting Crystal Palace. That's another big one for us here. We have the beer on draft as well, and we do expect fans from all over New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania
to come and check us
in their
out.
Bournemouth stripes to come watch the Cherries take on Palace.
Yeah.
12:30, Wolves hosting Man United, another team that is seeing some struggles.
Yeah.
Wolves under new manager had a big win over who they play, Ipswich, I believe.
Ipswich, yeah.
So they are kind of getting back onto it. I'm sorry. Where am I? It was
Leicester
oh no,
City.
Leicester. I'm sorry, Leicester City.
Leicester
I
City.
thought as soon as I said Ipswich, I thought I had it wrong. Ipswich was the match that got Gary O'Neill fired. That's where I had that. So Wolves, the new manager bounce. Do they have what it takes to take on a struggling Man United under
They
their own new manager?
should.
So
They should. I hope so. Again, I have a little soft spot for Manchester United because of my kid. But yeah, they don't really seem to be doing anything right now.
All right, and then finally, the last match of the day for us: Liverpool hosting Leicester, who looks to stay above the relegation zone here with Leicester. Obviously, Liverpool wants to distance themselves from Chelsea and Arsenal in first place.
Yes.
It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
Leicester under Van Nistelrooy has had their struggles. You'd like to see, again, as a United fan, but just as a fan of the game in general, of that generation, seeing Van Nistelrooy out on the touchline is great to see. Does he have what it takes to pip one on Liverpool there?
He's gonna be tough though. Again, I keep saying it, but Liverpool is just playing. It's too steady right now. They're not.
They have goals coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
They have Gakpo. They have Lucho. They have
Salah
Mo
coming
Salah.
to form now.
You're not even talking about Darwin Nunez anymore.
No.
It's
And those are still players
Alex
that
McAllister with a goal. It has been a revelation under Arne Slot here with Liverpool in his first year.
Absolutely, and like you said, we have forgotten players that have been, that were dominating the pitch. So, like at any point in time, you can have 6-7 players capable of scoring or changing a full dynamic of a game. So,
an
Liverpool
embarrassment of riches for Liverpool on the attacking line there. So.
And defense is steady. Like that's another thing. Like their defense is playing well. Like yes, they dominate the game and they get barely attacked, but
they did give up 3 to Tottenham. So
Exactly.
they have that in their bag that they can give up goals. They've conceded 16 goals so far this year, which is actually joint best. Them and Arsenal have both given up 16, but they've proven that they can leak goals from time to time.
oh my god, yeah.
All right, so we are not going to really chat much about the weekend matches. We will plan on doing some separate posting for that stuff, but one for the road. Diego, take it away. What do we got here?
Well, big news in Colombia. Yeah, actually, Ryan Reynolds, it's becoming or trying to become a soccer magnate. He acquires him and a group that it's Eva Longoria is also part of. Acquired a Bogota team from the Colombian, Serie A or Liga, I think it's called. It's called La Equidad. It's a Bogota. It's a Santa Fe Bogota team. They're trying to do the same thing they did with Wrexham. Start developing, create, the culture, bring it up to a higher level. And it's really surprising what Ryan Reynolds is doing now. He's like fully involved in the soccer world. And
so I'll read the news article. This is from Goal. The Tylus Porter Group, which includes Longoria, Ryan Reynolds, Mesut Ozil from Arsenal, and baseball player Justin Verlander, are in talks regarding a takeover of Bogota-based La Equidad. An agreement is said to be close with the source selling El Tiempo. We have not signed yet. The official signing will take place next Thursday. There are some agreements that have been reached, but until they are signed, we have a confidentiality agreement, so we cannot give exact figures. So Diego and I looked. La Equidad finished just above mid-table. So the way, for those of you that don't know, the way the Colombian League works, are they in Apertura and Clausura?
They have 2 tournaments.
So they have 2 tournaments, and then the top 8 total
of each tournament going to a playoff.
Will go into a playoff. So they finished, I believe, 5th overall. They finished bottom of their playoff group with no wins. So 0 wins, 0 draws, 6 losses. But it does seem like there is some room there for them to make a big push, not only just in the league, but maybe
Yeah.
Either Copa Sudamericana, Copa
Well, yeah, the
Libertadores.
goal at the end of the day for Ryan and their group is that when they take over the team, is just trying to get to the Copa Libertadores. Give Lucky that. I don't know if it's their first title. I think they might have been competing a few years back in the day. But they want to bring the team to relevance, which is something that they actually have managed to do. I mean, Wrexham has gotten, what, 2, 3 promotions? They climb up like two
Yeah.
steps on the leagues in England since they took him over. So they seem to know what they were doing. Plus, they have the back of a lot of money coming in.
Yep,
And,
they
at the end of
are.
the
So
day,
La
is
Equidad is a 3-time runner-up of
that's what it is. They run it
Categoría
up 3. Yeah.
Primera A, 2007, 2010, and 2011. They won the second division in 2006. They won Copa Colombia in 2008.
Yep.
They have appeared in Copa Sudamericana
A few
seven,
times, yeah.
7 times. And then for those of you that don't know, Copa Sudamericana is the second level.
It's like the Europa Cup
South
for South
American
America.
competition. Copa Libertadores is their Champions League.
Yep.
And Sudamericana is the second tier.
Yeah.
So,
And you know what it is with them, and I can see why this group and especially Reynolds wanted to, get involved with them. It's a very it's the populist team. Like the Bogota specifically has 3 different teams: La Equidad, Millonarios, and Santa Fe. Millonarios and Santa Fe are 2 of the richest, most historic teams in Colombia.
and obviously, again,
you
much
know.
much older clubs.
And much older. At least one of them is at least 90 years old, and the other one it doesn't fall far behind. So like that was established, in the late 90s. I want to say maybe even early 2000s or something like that.
Here we
or-
go. Founded in
82,
82.
82, I'm sorry.
And then looks like they were, but they were. It seems like they were.
But they were in the B League,
and,
so
and
they
they were
started
amateur
late.
for
Yeah,
much of that time.
exactly.
Two-
Officially,
here you go,
officially.
2003, La Equidad turned into a professional club.
Exactly. So that because of that, and it was just the people's team. You know what I mean? And they that's their forte. They take teams that are very popular locally with not just the I want to say I don't want to say it like that, but it has to be said like that with the rich.
Right,
Of
right.
the country, it's more like the communities and the lower level, the lower class people. And I'm sorry I use those terms, but those are the terms that have to be used in this type of situation.
The everyman.
The everyman team,
There we go.
exactly. There you go. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping that business goes through because if that does, it's gonna mean a lot. First of all, for the Colombian League, because bringing international money also
Right.
brings international attention,
Yeah, I mean,
and that's important.
I think currently, right now, the only place that you can watch the Colombian League is on VIX. I
Yeah,
think
that's it.
So maybe with the continued success,
That will bring contracts with others.
maybe more money is in it. Maybe more suitors are in there
Yeah.
that want to cover it.
And not only for La Equidad, but for the rest of
Oh,
the
yeah,
Colombian
yeah,
League.
for
And
sure.
that's what the exciting part when I saw this news was like that. That's what I thought. It was just the Colombian League is going to get that boost of notoriety, that we so desperately need because
Yeah.
our league is great. We just, nobody cares or knows about it.
Not enough eyes. I mean, we say the same thing about MLS.
Exactly.
There is quality there. Is it the Premier League? No.
No,
But there is quality
Yep.
there. This might bring a newfound sight from European squads, from
Exactly.
MLS squads that want to, now, okay, well, I guess Ryan Reynolds is there. Like,
Yeah,
maybe
let's
there's
try
some
to
quality
invest-
there. Can we bring
Exactly.
in some of these players? So, the more eyes on the league, in the
Yeah.
long run, is going to be better for not just the league, but the players, the cities.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So-
exactly. I mean, that was one other thing that was very important. It is Bogota. It is the capital. They don't really need that much money to come in, but nonetheless,
But they won't say no to it.
They will not say no to it. And there are regions because in Colombia there are a lot of discrepancies between regions in the same cities,
Right,
which
right.
is weird. But that's what's gonna bring a lot of development towards these
Yeah.
forgotten regions
Right.
of the city that I love so much. But yeah, it is crazy. So looking forward to that. Hopefully, it's
Nice
gonna
li-
work
a
out.
nice little Christmas gift for the city of Bogota.
Amen to that, and I appreciate that.
So, all right, that is going to do it for us this week. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year, whatever.
All
anything and
those
everything that you
beautiful
celebrate.
holidays.
Most
spending-
importantly, Happy Boxing Day.
Yes.
Diego and I will be here bright and early, 7 o'clock in the morning, getting
Yeah.
everything going. If you are coming, we do ask that you please bring in a baking ingredient for our food drive.
Yes,
but we'd love
please.
to have you either way. We have raffle tickets, including Delta Suite tickets for an NYCFC
Oh.
match. We got Red Bull tickets to give away.
Yeah.
So every ingredient that you bring, you'll get a raffle ticket. We will also be selling raffle tickets as well if you want to be included in that. And
Yeah.
then a good portion of the proceeds will be going to Sparrow's Nest, the local charity that we're working with.
There you go, my friends.
Again, as a repetition, if you weren't here last week, Sparrow's Nest is a charity based in Dutchess County, and essentially what they do is they prepare and distribute meals to families dealing with cancer diagnoses or certain cancer treatments that they either physically, mentally, or financially cannot prepare meals for their families anymore. It is a very noble cause and a very needed cause. So thank you to Sparrow's Nest for collaborating with us on this. And that about
Hey.
does it for me.
Yeah, support it. Dave really did work hard on that one, so please, show some love
We
over
look
here.
forward to seeing you. Plenty of Up the Cherries brown ale to be had. Hopefully, we'll have some Egbert beer left as well. And we're just here to watch the games and have some fun. So.
Absolutely, spend time with you and the families, man. Bring all the little ones as well because
And
it's
if you're
a family
and if you're
place.
tired of your family after Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, also come here on Boxing Day. All right. So that does it for us. Like I
Yeah.
said, happy holidays, and we will catch you next week with a new episode.
All the blessings to you guys.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Happy New Year.